with all the other major participants and builders in the ordinal space.
We're ready? Let's save that.
Oh, we haven't started yet?
Not yet. No, I have to introduce you. But that reaction is sick.
Fuck!
Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Traders Brawl Podcast. I'm Adel, the host, and today I am here with Serge from the Bitcoin Ordinals Council. We'll get to that very soon. But for those who are new, welcome, and for those who are here, thank you for staying with us. We are an educational platform and a social media marketing agency. We are here to speak with entrepreneurs who are building in the Web3 space, the fintech space, and all things to do with what it's like to run a company with your entrepreneurial journey. So today's guest is Serge. We met actually 2 years ago.
At a villa party.
At a villa party. That was an interesting night.
Yes.
And since then we connected. I followed your page. We got in touch and here we are now.
Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it. Shout out to you, bro.
Absolutely.
Love what you're doing in the space. Big congratulations on this amazing setup. Super professional. You know, I saw how you've become such an important conduit to the crypto space, and you're representing education, bringing education, and you're really a new breed of influencers, let's say, in the space that are really bringing the right value to the space, rather than all these KOLs and so-called influencers that are really, in my opinion, like toxic as fuck and could be cancerous to the whole ecosystem. So big congratulations, all the support. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It really means a lot, and it's not very often, you know, we get guests. We get many kinds of guests, but I really felt the vibe with you since that villa party, and then here just reconfirming, reassuring that. But I more about what you're building. Before we get to that, I mean, you're a big fan. You're of the Ordinals, which is a new upgrade to the Bitcoin ecosystem. Tell us a little bit about how you discovered that and what are you building right now?
So to maybe take a little step back and really share my story and how I ended up in the crypto space and went all in, balls deep into are you gonna edit that?
We'll keep it there.
Keep it there. There's gonna be a lot of F's and whatnots in this podcast. But like, I started in 2017, 2018. So a little background on myself. I'm born and raised in Beirut, Lebanon, to a family of Armenian immigrants, third generation. And what happened was, living in Lebanon or experiencing Lebanon, you kind of witness the microcosm of what's really happening in the global scheme of things, with inflation and printing money and governments and banks conspiring to kind of like rug pull the average kind of depositor or end user or retail. And I really witnessed that on a microcosmic level in Lebanon. It is a small country with a small GDP and whatnot. But what happened in 2017, 2018, and up to 2019, we saw the Lebanese lira quickly depreciate and devalue. And literally overnight, hundreds of thousands of Lebanese lost their money overnight.
Wow.
My dad, working for 40 years, saving up money. We lost our house, we lost the car, we lost the life insurance, we lost the cash in the bank. All that was inaccessible. Eventually that led into like a revolution that really didn't end up doing anything. But that was the pivotal moment in my life where back then I was living in China. I was leading the biggest franchise in the world called Anytime Fitness. We were kind of opening up 24/7 gyms in Asia and China, Philippines, Singapore. I'm sure your producer there knows about Anytime Fitness in Manila. So we were doing that, and when the Lebanese crisis hit, for me, it was kind of, that's it. What I just saw was a devastating impact on the masses. And I wanted to do something about it. And coming to Bitcoin was the answer. The most peer-to-peer, immutable, decentralized, hard currency out there that's capped at 21 million. Nobody can fuck around with that. You can't print it, you can't manipulate it. And for me, I just quit everything. I went all in crypto. And since then, I never looked back. But having said that, Bitcoin was still not really accessible to the little guy. And what do I mean by not accessible? It was expensive, right? Bitcoin at 20,000 still expensive, going up from all these little cents and dollars, right? it was being hoarded by major players, whales. And what Ordinals kind of opened my eyes to is Ordinals made Bitcoin accessible again. It made Bitcoin practical again. And Ordinals became also a conduit and a medium to mass adoption to Bitcoin. Whether it's via art and culture, whether it's through speculating also on Bitcoin denominated assets. So as an example for me, holding an Ordinal in my wallet is better than holding Bitcoin itself, because I can speculate maybe a 10x increase on that or Bitcoin NFT rather than maybe a 1.5x or 2x on Bitcoin on the bull market. So we see more and more eyes coming to Bitcoin. I've certainly, over the last year and a half, I've seen so many people jumping into from other chains at least, jumping and building on Bitcoin. That's kind of my story. Yeah. No,
that's a really moving.
You got to interrupt me.
No, that was a really moving backstory with what you described about Lebanon, and your family, and shout out to everybody who contributed to helping you. That's crazy that all the savings and everything, but I hope they're in a better place. I hope now times have changed. I don't know how the economy is in Lebanon right now.
In shambles.
In shambles still?
In shambles, and there's like an upcoming war right now, so that's kind of like worrisome. But Bitcoin unites people. So like Lebanon is a very tribal country, but I see any candidate as an example in the future running for president, or if they allow it, running on the Bitcoin narrative, would definitely unite people. But what's interesting to see is what we saw in Lebanon is a prediction into the future. And what do I mean by that? I mean, Lebanon, again, as a microcosm of what happened, we're going to see in the next 10 years a collapse in global economies. At least that's how I feel. Dollar ending its reign over world economy, and you're going to see pivotal, seismic movements in the global economies for sure. Yeah.
Now, coming back to Bitcoin Ordinals, as a clear definition for the audience, I mean, as I understand it, it's like Bitcoin NFTs on the Bitcoin network, and they're unique digital assets inscribed on Satoshis. And I believe it was developed by a guy called Casey Rodarmor. He sort of, it's like an upgrade. It's called the Ordinals protocol. I think it was an upgrade to Bitcoin. And if I'm not mistaken, is it just basically an NFT that's on the Bitcoin network?
So, amazing question. Big shout out to Casey. I think Casey Rodarmor is such an instrumental, prominent figure in the Bitcoin space. This guy, he's just like, he loves to experiment, he loves to tinker around, and he's made such an impact on so many lives and in the Bitcoin ecosystem in general. I had the pleasure of meeting him in Singapore last year, Token 2049. I saw him in Hong Kong with Ordinals Asia.
Wow, you saw him, you met him.
Yeah, we're on that boat party with Ords Games, and shout out to Jan and Z3 as well. These guys are awesome, early builders. Jan is Xverse, and Z3 is building Ords Games, bringing Bitcoin to gaming as well. So, long story short. So for the first time ever, what we saw was Bitcoin moving from a store of value function to a utility function. And what in the past was really inaccessible and being hoarded was now being transformed into art. Was now being transformed into something practical, something beautiful in the form of art and culture. And when I came across Casey's white paper, I think it was late January, Ordinals Theory, Inscription Theory, late January 2023, we started kind of minting, inscribing, and trading Bitcoin punks and all these awesome collections that came about in the dark alleyways of Discord, and you had to be operating a full Bitcoin node. I'm not a technical guy, but I had friends and we were all doing that together. Eventually that became the core team of the Ordinals Council.
Right.
But when I discovered Ordinals, everything I knew about NFTs was completely fucking obsolete. Meant nothing, because NFTs on Ethereum and other chains are basically just a hyperlink. It's an URL AWS.
True. I was about to say that.
That's about it. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
And it's a JPEG basically attached to that URL AWS. what happened with Ordinals is, with Ordinals Theory, we were able to assign numbers to Satoshis and track those Satoshis as they're being transacted around the Bitcoin blockchain, right? And with that, what inscription theory did was it enabled us to inscribe data on top of in that Satoshi and give value to that Satoshi, give its intrinsic value in Bitcoin on that Satoshi. All that data is on chain, on the most peer-to-peer immutable blockchain out there. You can't fuck around with it, you can't change it, you can't do anything with it, and you own that forever. So that's digital provenance, digital archaeology, and it's changed the game. So it started with art and culture. You see a lot of artists, making it a point. We don't want to build on top of other chains. We want to bring our collections to Bitcoin. And yeah, it's been. I've never looked back since then.
That's really good. I mean, look, the way I understand it is that you're attaching data like videos, pictures, even memes to the Bitcoin network, which, unlike normal regular NFTs, which you just rightly said, they sit on an AWS server or Amazon's server system, which is centralized. It's owned by Amazon. Whereas on the Bitcoin ledger, it's completely decentralized, and that's the value you get for minting it there.
100% right, Adel. You hit it on the spot.
Now, here's the controversy that comes with that. Was the Bitcoin ledger intended for this purpose? Some would argue that actually Bitcoin was meant to be left alone just for peer-to-peer, as said in the white paper, and it should not be congested by these newly launched meme coins, meme NFTs.
Correct. And at core, Bitcoin's kind of raison d'etre is being that hard currency, no doubt. That should never change, and in fact, that's what we're all striving to. But at the same time, you can't stop evolution. You can't stop creativity. You can't stop pushing for what the market demands. And you'll see these laser eye maxis kind of like arguing against and saying, "Oh, you're destroying the purity of Bitcoin." But hey, if ordinals, runes, and everything that's being built on top of Bitcoin allows for more mass adoption into Bitcoin, then why the fuck not?
Yeah, no, that's a fair point.
But at its core, it remains the alternative hard currency of the world.
Yeah, and the most decentralized.
The most decentralized.
So, wow, with that said, now maybe this rightly moves on to what you're building in this space, which is the Ordinals Council, if you're happy to talk a bit about that.
Yeah, sure.
But before that, you're also founder of Centauri.
Correct.
What is that exactly?
So I'm an angel investor advisor on over 100 startups since 2017. I was focused mostly on infrastructure, gaming, DeFi. I help, as Centauri, what Centauri does is an incubator based out of Dubai. What we do is we help strong founders and good projects kind of maneuver the minefields of building a project from inception to completion. And I'm very confident in I'm very confident to say that we're able to do that because I'm battle tested and I've made my mistakes. I've been crushed, and I want to bring that experience to founders and kind of bring those resources to them in terms of who are the right people to talk to, how to raise money, where to raise it from, how to go to market, anything from inception to completion. So that's kind of what I did. Everything I've done in Ordinals so far has been 100% a donation, kind of my contribution to the ecosystem.
Wow.
And coming back to the Ordinals Council, initially when we started dabbling in the space, we were a couple of guys who are really deep into it. We came together and we want to do something funny, create like the first Bitcoin DAO, and kind of put like these prominent influencers and investors and builders all into one council, and we put all these governance layers, and I mean, it proved to be kind of very, very unsuccessful because you can't have so many tigers up on the top of the mountain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But having said that, we built that community around it, and our mission was simply to bring mass adoption to Bitcoin via Bitcoin utility. Now call utility what you want. It could be ordinals, it could be BRC20s, it could be runes right now, which is totally different than BRC20s and inscription theory, but that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to help projects, we wanted to incubate projects, we want to assist founders. Kind of the same thing what I'm doing with Centauri is what makes me money, pays my rent and stuff.
Right.
But what we wanted to do in the Bitcoin space is kind of just give those resources to founders who want to build infrastructure on top of Bitcoin, DEXs and swaps and all that.
Right, building on the blockchain,
building on the Bitcoin blockchain, yeah.
Right, so great that this ties into what you're building, what's been occupying you since 2017, and now, as you said, the Bitcoin Ordinals Council. Why is it called a council? Because for me, the understanding is like it's a group. Is that correct? Have I misunderstood it?
Yeah, it's a group of entrepreneurs and Bitcoin aficionados who started early, unraveling Bitcoin and ordinals. Initially, it was, we had so many guys, successful kind of founders of projects and VCs, and I don't want to be naming any names, but initially we tried to be this like dark society, Illuminati kind of thing.
But I saw the website, they're all hooded.
And then we just like, fuck it, let everybody know who we are. And then it was very tough because we faced various challenges. A big part of the council was guys that saw an opportunity, grifters. They're like, okay, this might be the next best thing. Let me jump on board. No shout out to you guys, but I still love you. They just jumped on board, and nothing ever happened. And it was, for me, when I built the council, it's okay, here's my mantra. What can I give to the council? What can I give to the Bitcoin ordinal space? That was how I wanted to cement the philosophy of the council. I have to give the council, I have to give value to the Bitcoin community. But a lot of it saw it as, okay, let me jump onto the council, see what I can get. And there was this kind of disenfranchisement, or well, I don't know what you call it, the disengagement. But yeah, since then it's been, we've been pushing forward with our community. Right now, what I'm doing is we're placing our community at the heart, the yellow cloaks. Right. So we had the orange cloaks, which were the kind of the executives, and then you had the yellow cloaks, which are your community. Initially, we kind of like totally not paid attention to your core community, and all that attention is now to the yellow cloaks. Got it. And we're starting a massive campaign around that. We want to bring the attention back to yellow community. We want to add value. We want to give them access. We want to give them resources. We want to give them benefits, and we want to we want them to be kind of the front protagonists of the ecosystem. Right.
And this is really good for empowerment. You're really empowering individuals.
Empowering, yes.
And since as I understand, it's decentralized, right? So there's no central authority with this. Is that correct? So with that said, how can, as part of the Ordinals Council community, how will it ensure responsible development and prevent malicious use cases, spams and scams from individuals building on it?
That's a great question. Initially, we also set up ToshiPad, we built out ToshiPad, which was the first decentralized launchpad for Taproot assets. And I think probably we were the first, in the middle of the bear market, we were the first people to kind of, founders to reject $1.5 million in funding.
Wow.
It was probably the hardest decisions we made.
Damn.
Shout out to Leonidas as well for dropping dog on Bitcoin, and he did it in a totally beautiful manner. He airdropped it to everybody for free, to those participating in the early days of Ordinals. But we actually also did it first, to be honest. We went fully decentralized, forward value to the community, try to monetize on the backwards, not take any money from investors. We were the first to launch the governance token on council, this CNCL on BRC20, and literally in a fully decentralized manner with zero VC funding. We took the token from $1 mint to 800x.
Wow.
I think it was an all-time high of $650 or $800. That was kind of the blow off top.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, we fought through, and I forgot your question.
It's totally fine now. My question was about
how do you defend malicious against
how do you
malicious
like prevent it from other people?
We set up the council to be, I don't want to call it gatekeeper, but we wanted to be kind of sifting through the grifters.
So like vetting?
Vetting projects. Shout out to one of my amazing council women, Amalia. She's kind of like the technical brains and does all the DD for the projects, and she assesses stuff. And I think you know Amalia probably from
Rochelle?
No. Yeah.
She's in the space.
Yeah, she kind of does a lot of due diligence on these projects coming in. She's very well versed in Bitcoin. She's way more technical than I am. Sometimes I don't even fucking understand what she says.
I know, you need a technical guy in your
You need a technical guy.
girl in your team.
You do need the technical person in the team, and she adds so much value. But yeah, that's kind of what we wanted to do initially, and we're just out there. You know, we're just out there. We're just out there.
Yeah.
You know, 50% of being successful is fucking showing up, man.
True.
You gotta show up. You gotta make the connections. You gotta build the relationships, and you have to be able to. In every conversation that you have with people, you got to be thinking, okay, how can I add value? How can I add value? So that's what all the council is all about. We're not trying to monetize. We're not building a project. We're not fundraising. We're just a think tank movement. And if I die tomorrow, or like I decide to quit, there's always somebody there that's gonna kind of pick up or do what they need to do. It's totally decentralized.
Right. So you're building a place for people to build. Like you're helping people build.
Exactly. That's all it's about. It's a group. It's a movement. It's a community.
I'm curious now. How do you monetize? Are you planning to monetize this, or no monetization?
We're not monetizing.
Okay.
Everything we've done so far. So we've managed to accumulate some money in the treasury. Crazy, right? Like we have a substantial amount of treasury totally from nothing. I don't know how. From ToshiPad, we did a couple of launches.
Right.
And that accumulated money into the treasury, and we're sitting on that money right now trying to figure out, all right, how do we keep pushing using that money? Literally, we haven't bought ourselves a single fucking cup of coffee with that money. It's kind of like you can't spend it, and we all need to agree on how it goes and where it goes and stuff. But what we're using it for now is we're using it to really give back to the Yellow Cloak community.
Right.
And we're using it to be more present in like events, like we were at Ordinals Lisbon. Shout out to the Pizza Ninja crew and Trevor Owens, and all these guys are awesome. We've also we were in Ordinals Asia and Hong Kong, and I'm heading to Nashville.
Bitcoin 2024.
Yeah, I'll be there like in a few weeks. So
brilliant. No.
Celebrating my birthday there on July 25th.
Oh wow. That's a great
45
place.
for shoes, extra L for shirts, guys. Don't forget.
Don't forget, guys. But this is really interesting. Apart from digital art, memes, do you envision any more new exciting projects that can be built on the Ordinals?
Totally. So, let's talk about runes for a second, right? Casey decided to. So it's funny how runes started.
Yeah, tell us the story.
Yeah, it's like I don't think a lot of people know this story, but I do want to share it.
Please.
It was in Ordinal Summit organized by Nakib and Ordzar. We kind of also assisted and supported and brought sponsors and stuff, and we were there. And Nakib was super excited, and he was like, I can't believe I brought all these people over, and Casey's here, and Domo, who's the creator of BRC20, and Domo and Casey meet for the first time at the hotel, and we were having kind of like a small gathering, and I was there listening to them talk in alien language, literally in alien language. I have no idea what they're talking about. Apparently that's where Casey decided to go back to the US, because he thought, okay, BRC20s are too clunky and stuff, so let me go build something new. And he went back and wrote something on runes, which is kind of like a new protocol built on top of Bitcoin, using the same indexer, of course, but it's a brand new protocol that allows fungible tokens to be traded on UTXO-based fungible tokens to be traded, and hence the shitcoin casino
Right.
on Bitcoin. And I think it's great.
Of course,
it is great. It's very exciting. I was there. We were all set up, and I was there on day one trying to mint, but like we lost a whole bunch of money trying to mint that shit. Etch that shit. Etch, not mint. Etching is the word for runes. Yeah, and so far, we're seeing slow adoption of runes.
Right. Is it successful?
Not in today's today. By the way, for my children watching this podcast, Bitcoin is sitting at $57,000 today. Yeah. So the market's down, but so much fun.
Yeah,
it's so much fun. I mean, think about it, Adel. Solana, what's the market price of Solana or Ethereum? 300 billion for Ethereum. You're sitting on the #1 asset in the world. Now close your eyes and imagine for a second, okay, that all that liquidity, Bitcoin sitting at $150,000, $200,000, okay, and that's like 2-3x from here, right? It's not much. And now all that liquidity, instead of flowing into fucking altcoins and ETH coins and whatever coins, all that liquidity is going to trickle down to Bitcoin denominated assets. Why not?
Why not? It's on the ledger. It's decentralized, the most decentralized version.
If I want to make more, so it's interesting. I have one of my good buddies, primary LP of Pantera Capital. Not going to mention names. Also an LP in Animoca Ventures. He told me one day, this was during the BRC20 craze. He's like, Serge, I just want my Bitcoin to make more Bitcoin. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Like I said,
compounding.
If I can 10x my money in Bitcoin, then why do I need to buy Bitcoin? But all that, so my speculation is all that money is going to flow down, trickle down from a $2 trillion, $3 trillion asset into these Bitcoin shitcoins, right? And I think that's the opportunity. But again, to your question, utilities of Ordinals, right? I mean, I see Bitcoin DeFi as something that has a huge potential. Can my Bitcoin make me more Bitcoin? Bitcoin gaming, Bitcoin metaverse. There's all these incredible utilities that can be built on top of Bitcoin. Yeah.
Right.
Don't ask me how.
Time will tell. Time will tell. Yeah. We're here for the long term, and what you see in the market is just a snapshot today. Yes, we're at 57K, but don't forget, zoom out.
Zoom out.
Zoom the fuck out,
bro. Zoom the fuck out, exactly. Zoom the fuck out.
All right, no, good. So, going forward, right, I want to know a few things about like what's next for you. You already mentioned Bitcoin Council, Centauri. So what needs to happen next for you for anything to become successful next?
Bro, I have this thing called I have this plan. It's called the 24-hour plan.
Okay.
That's it. That's what's next.
I love that.
It's a 24-hour plan. I don't have to worry about tomorrow. I don't have to regret my all that shit that I've done in my past or my mistakes. All I got to worry about is making sure I'm in my present right now, making all these right decisions, and I'm doing what I can do best with what I have.
Right.
And again, in every conversation that you have with people, in every step that you take with your relationships, I'm making sure that I'm adding value. And all I got to do is be present in the moment. And I don't want to sound so philosophical, but really that's what it's all about. I don't know what the future is going to hold tomorrow. I might meet someone great. And think about it, right? Like the partners that you have here in this production setup, you probably met them somewhere, right?
Yes.
How did you meet them? Because you showed up.
Showed up.
Right? And in my situation, same thing. I showed up and I have great partners right now. And another thing that I want to share with everybody who's starting their journey in crypto or trying to make it happen. Brothers, fail fast. Don't dwell over the past. Don't regret the pain. Don't regret the mistakes. Fail fast. If a relationship doesn't work, it's not his fault. It's not your fault. Fail fast, move on. But for me, what I want to do is continue building, continue supporting projects, continue to drive channels of value, whether it's liquidity, resources, investments, etc., etc. Drive them to the strong founders and really push that value proposition forward.
Right, right.
And I don't intend to be kind of like a founder of any project yet. I don't want to be a project founder ever. I could be backing you as a project founder. I could be investing in you. I could be advising you. I could be helping you, but I'm never going to be founding my own project for monetary purposes. But I'll be available. I'll be around.
I love that.
I'm like electricity. I'm everywhere.
You're everywhere. I like that 24-hour rule. I mean, it does. you can't plan the future, so I get where you're coming from. But being in the present, showing up is the way forward.
100%.
Yeah.
You never know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Never.
You leave the house, you're taking a risk. You might get crushed by a bus.
What would you say, though, are the biggest hurdles that the Ordinals ecosystem needs to overcome? Are there any challenges, any hurdles?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
sorry?
Can we fix his wire?
Who?
my wire. Are we good now?
The legs. His bent.
Oh, just hide it.
Okay. Oh, the legs. Okay.
Oh yeah. She's there. All good.
Just came right now, man.
No problem. No. Is it okay?
Yes, okay.
Okay.
That is from your perspective.
I'll just ask the same question one more time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming back to the Ordinals, I'm curious to know what are the biggest hurdles right now that need to be overcome that you see that the Ordinals is currently facing? Like what are some of the challenges?
Definitely, like scalability is an issue for sure, but with those challenges come opportunities. Also, kind of like driving the right kind of liquidity and building the right kind of infrastructure around it. Those are challenges, but also opportunities. I'd rather think of challenges as opportunities, to be honest.
Yes.
I don't think there's any challenges. There's
Maybe
only
adoption. I mean, adoption is always going to be a thing.
Bro, go back to 2016, 2015, 2017, where there were no dApps on Ethereum.
Yeah.
Those were challenges. Now they're opportunities, and that's where you see those 10,000x, 1,000x, 100x, 500x potentials of growth is in the challenges.
Right. Right.
I had these devs come up to me and we don't know what to do. There's so many challenges, but I'm like, those are your opportunities to shine and to step up and build, bro.
Yeah. No. Dude, I love your attitude. I just want to say, do you have kids? How many?
No kids.
No kids. That's awesome.
No kids.
Because I have a question about kids, about the kids of our generation.
Please.
What would you say? This is a message because we want to close. We're going to wrap up. But what message would you give to listeners who are curious about exploring? Right now, they're in they're 18 years old, whatever, and they're considering a career, a 9-to-5 career, or a university job, or university. Sorry, should they go to university or ape in the crypto landscape, or what do you think they should do? The kids of our generation today. What would be your message? I know that's a hard question.
It's an emotional question.
Yeah.
I'd say don't regret making mistakes. Make mistakes.
Okay.
Every step that you take in your life is an opportunity for another. There are no mistakes. There are no regrets. The reason why you're here today, Adel, or the reason why I'm here today, is because of the mistakes I've made.
That's true.
That's it. That's all I can say. And like I said, build value. Build strong relationships with people, add value to their life.
But what if these kids don't know what value is and they don't know how to add value? Then they don't even know what they want to do for their career.
So I'm almost 39. I'm 40 years old next
Really?
month. Yeah.
Bro, you look young as hell.
Thank you, sir. I'm 40 years old in July 25th.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't learn shit in university.
Me too.
I didn't learn anything. If anything, university or school was just kind of like a social setting that taught you how to operate in the matrix, right?
Pretty much.
You know what the fuck the first thing they did was when I graduated?
What?
I never forget that day. There was a bank stand right outside the university as we're stepping out of graduation. These fuckers were handing us credit cards.
Really? Wow.
I got a $10,000 credit card at the age of 21.
You did?
Yeah, I spent that shit in a month. Less than a month, the money was gone.
Oh shit.
They call me up. They say, Serge, sir, you have to make your monthly payments. I'm like, oh shit. Now I gotta find a job. And I'm like, are you guys hiring? So I ended up working at a bank, the same bank that handed me the money.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
Can you disclose the bank?
Canadian Imperial Bank of motherfucking Commerce.
Fuck. But it's generous of them to hand out credit cards like that.
That's how they keep you.
But of course, that's how they lure
hamster
you
wheel,
in.
right?
That's how they lure you in. Because what do you know? After
Schooling
university?
system, university system, get a job, get married, get a 9-to-5 job, get more loans, more mortgages, car, this, pay insurance.
Drown in debt.
That's it. You're fucked in debt. You have no more sense of self. You got to worry about paying the debt, or your credit score goes down, and then you're fucked. Don't go to university. Every single piece of information that you need to succeed, and I'm looking straight into the camera, is out there on the internet. And if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. Or that camera.
You heard him.
All cameras.
You heard it from Serge. We're gonna wrap up, but bro, that was amazing value there.
Thank you, sir.
I love that. That's the biggest takeaway from here. I think kids these days are on their phones. They need to find purpose. I don't want my children to just live on their phone. If it makes money, fine. Good for you.
Yeah.
And it's okay that you don't know what you want to do at university, but find your passion. And if it means going to university to find it, okay. But just be wary that these guys, these professors, are not entrepreneurs. They're reading off a slide deck.
One last thing before we wrap up. Here's what I want to say. Don't find your passion.
Okay.
Don't work for your passion. Work with your talent. Use your talent to make money. Make money, then work on your passion. Once you're done with that, work for impact. So use talent for money. Use the money for passion. Second stage, you use for passion. But now you use your talent. What's your talent? You're amazing in media and this stuff. You know your talent. It just happens to be your passion too.
Yeah.
You're one of the lucky ones. I'm not that lucky. I have to use my talent.
To be having you on the stage with me, bro.
Thank you, sir. But that's all I wanted to say.
Serge, that's amazing. I really want to wish you the best of luck.
You too, bro.
I don't need to wish you luck, but I know you're going to be super, super successful. You already are.
I love you, bro. Thank you.
I really want to see this through. I'm going to be following your page very closely, and I want to be part of the Ordinals project wherever I can to support you.
Let's get you, first of all, download a Taproot wallet.
Okay.
Maybe an Xverse or Unisat. And let's get you a yellow cloak. I'd love to welcome you into the yellow cloak
Bring it
community.
on. I hope my size
welcome.
L
Officially, I would love to welcome Adel into the Ordinals Council.
Does size L fit me?
Because just you by doing this is a huge contribution to the Bitcoin ecosystem, just by this. And for that, my friend, you've earned yourself, I think, $100 worth of
Bring it.
yellow cloak.
You know why?
Bitcoin
Because we
NFT.
both showed up today.
We showed up. Thank you. Amazing.
Yeah. No, amazing. Serge, amazing. Great to have you once again. Guys, follow his page. I will leave all the links in the description of this YouTube channel, of this YouTube page. All the links to his Twitter profile and the Ordinals website. Check them out. But for now, thank you so much for staying with us. Keep following our page for more educational insights like this. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.